Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on this wonderful Wednesday for what is going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily market update with yours truly. And boy, oh boy, do we have some pretty insane news to get into in this market update. We are going to be looking at Bitcoin's attempt to break out that took place yesterday. It got a very harsh rejection from, I think, around the 68K range, shot all the way back down to 65. Resistance acted exactly as that, but you will push above it. It wasn't just resistance that was met on Bitcoin, also the total market. We're going to get into the markets towards the end of the video, but we have some breaking within the last hour, not even within the last hour, news to share with you. And it's bad news for my Italian friends out there. Just in, Italy is now set to raise capital gain taxes on Bitcoin from 26% to 42%. So that means they are going to be taking half of your crypto, nearly half of your crypto gains. Do you believe that this is just going to be Bitcoin that they are going to impose this tax on? This is bad news for my Italian friends out there. And I'm kind of shocked that this is even a thing. I don't know quite what the angle is here. Maybe people have made that much money on Bitcoin and they're kind of tracking that. But Italy has very high taxes anyway in regards to income. And they've got various schemes that you can, although you're applicable up until a certain point. And then, you know, you really start to get hammered by the government. You know, it's a really sad state of affairs. Something that I'm really upset about for the people in Italy. But for more selfish reasons, because I think this is just a domino in probably many that are to come. I do believe that in the UK, we are going to see tax rises. I'm not convinced about the tax implications in regards to capital gains in the UK being sort of 40% going from 20 to 40%. I'm not 100% convinced of that. If they do that, I'll just leave the UK. And there are thousands of people, entrepreneurs, people that can work remotely, billionaires, millionaires that are just fleeing from the UK right now. We're almost becoming refugees in other countries. And Italy today, unfortunately, like I say, have announced a 26% capital gains tax to 42%. So they've gone from 26 to 42% in regards to Bitcoin gains. Horrific. And like I say, I fear what's coming in October for the UK and more broadly for Europe across the board. I actually thought Meloni was more sort of conservative on the right side of things. I don't follow Italian politics very closely. However, you know, this is I would say more of a kind of left-wing socialist thing to do. Can you detract any silver linings from this? I don't really think so, other than the fact that they obviously think Bitcoin is going to do very well, and that's why they're willing to tax it at the sort of rate that they are. But this is pretty horrific, and I do. I apologize for my Italian viewers out there. We don't apologize. We're just more sad that this is happening to you. I'm sure a lot of people were perhaps banking on their crypto earnings to essentially change their and their families' lives, and you know, that's now got a little bit more harder to do thanks to your government in the name of you know, your government is there to serve you. Remember that. And this is the crazy thing: governments are there to serve you. There's nothing subservient in regards to the Italian government levying these kind of and for what? Italy's suffering from the same problem that Germany and a lot of Europe and the UK is suffering from, and it's heartbreaking to see. They'll push it so far, and then there'll be a retaliation, I'm sure. Anyway, this was just a breaking news today. Nice little picture of Milani here. You know, this is probably what most people are in Italy that hold Bitcoin, and it's going to be more broader to the crypto space are looking like right now. On some other pressing matters, we'll get into the markets in just a second. We knew Tesla sold their Bitcoin. They sold it at the perfectly wrong time as it was going down. You know, it'd already gone down quite a bit. And they took a loss on it, but they still hold a significant amount of Bitcoin. I think it was something like $750 million worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, so we can see here. But Tesla today have started moving their Bitcoin. So this is just in. This broke this morning. Tesla moves 225 million Bitcoin to a new address. This has continued. They've now moved another 275 million to a new address, totaling 500 million in the past hour. And actually, there are claims now that they've moved a whopping 760 million by this point. Are Tesla about to dump on the market? Well, the good news is it's not an exchange. It could just be a safer or a new custody wallet. They could be trying some things out. I don't think the implications, certainly in regards to Elon Musk, is that Tesla are going to dump Bitcoin. But this is a story to watch. $760 million worth of Bitcoin, of course, has been moved by them. And the speculation, as always, is going to be to the doom and gloom side of things. I don't think Elon, and it's not just up to Elon, actually, even though he's a big influential people, Tesla has a board. We're very bullish on Tesla stock. I think Elon's probably going to play a role in the kind of government of the United States after this election. I do believe Trump's going to win it. We've always said that. We thought at certain points Harris has put up a good fight, but certainly my bias is more towards Trump and a conservative. I don't agree with everything he says, but a more conservative approach. So this is absolutely news to watch and to see what happens with this. The good news is the wallet that this has been moved to hasn't been linked to an exchange, which means that they kind of need to send it to unless they were doing some sort of, but even an OTC deal would need to go to an exchange listed wallet. So they could just be moving it about. Don't panic in regards to this news. Some very interesting news shared by Kobe here. Welcome back, Grayscale. What is he referring to here? Well, this is Grayscale's Ethereum Trust. And you can see since the ETF, pre the ETF, we saw outflows. Remember, we saw some of these similar with Solana. Solana saw some pretty big outflows in regards to their ETP, their exchange traded product, their exchange traded, or ETT, exchange traded trust. And obviously, there's been continued outflows because people would rather have the ETF because the fees are significantly lower. However, recently, with Grayscale dropping their fees, there's been an inflow into them. And the beautiful thing about this happening when it is happening is this is all aligning with the kind of breakout for Bitcoin and the resumption of the broader uptrend that Bitcoin's in taking place. The altcoin market looks spectacular to me, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about Total 2 in just a second, which also had an attempted breakout and is breaking out. The next sort of leg of this bull market is underway. Yesterday, we look at exchange traded or exchange reserves in regards to Bitcoin, and they're just getting drained. And there's an element, this is halving typically drives the 4-year cycles. I happen to think the halving was also planned around the economic cycles by whoever Satoshi was, he, she, they, it, whatever. But ultimately, there's a great sort of fundamental and technical narrative in regards to this market, and we're seeing Grayscale Ethereum's trust flows actually start to uptick for the first time since December last year. So this is significant. I really do believe that. And this is some news from Bybit. Interesting news as well, largely because there's been that much news over the past 24 hours, or certainly this morning, and we're covering the bulk of it. Grayscale has now filed to convert its digital large cap fund, which we look at in regards to an ETP to give us further clarity. It's pointing towards the upside in regards to the technical analysis that we have for it, that the space generally is going to be heading that. But they've filed to convert their digital large cap fund, which contains Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, XRP, and AVAX, into an ETF. Now, this is interesting because we've obviously done a lot of work on the likes of Grayscale's. This is Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. This made our target, by the way. Look at this for technical analysis. Mastery right here. Inverse head and shoulder. Remember, we're predicting this like we are with a lot of the altcoins. This is Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund, which we also have targets for that we use to predict Bitcoin. This has made 2 targets. We've got that big macro target that I think you're going to get to. And this could be certainly take place on the lead up to the actual acceptance of this. And ultimately, this has given us further confidence. This is tracking altcoins, and we're bullish on this. We're obviously bullish on the altcoins that it's tracking. And the space more broadly, which we're seeing, this is Bitwise Top 10 Crypto Index Fund. 21 shares, Crypto Basket. Cathy Woods is probably the worst one to buy, I'd say. We've got things like Mara Miners. Everything points in the same direction. So this is huge news. I also think Grayscale have now also filed to convert their XRP trust into an ETF. So there's obviously something going on behind the scenes in regards to regulatory clarity. But yeah, things look fantastic, guys. Unfortunately, bad news for the Italians. It's likely going to be bad news for us Brits. And like I say, if somebody out there wants to start a business with me, we can bring the customers in regards to enabling people to legally, or got to be legal. You have to do things by the book in this world, guys, because they will throw you away and lock, or they'll throw you in jail and lock, throw the key away. They'll lock you in jail and throw the key away. That'd be a great idea, setting up a business, helping people actually move abroad. Or if anybody's got a business doing that and wants to partner with me, let me know, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are thinking the exact same thing that I am. It's time to leave the UK. It's time to leave our motherland, our homeland, and seek refuge somewhere else with a government that actually treats us or serves us in some way, shape, or form. We're not served at all. Just the whole thing that happened in the UK with the I hate to do this, guys, but some things need to be said. Just the whole things that happened with the pensioners and them taking money off pensioners whilst giving money to, people that aren't even from this country. That's a globalist government, not a sort of more nationalistic one in regards to, being for the nation and the people within it. Anyway, Bitcoin looks fantastic. Enough of the political jargon. But I'm just sort of outraged in regards to what's happening with Italy. We've got a lot of technical confluence in regards to the direction Bitcoin's heading in. This is just a pullback in what is a broader uptrend, and it will not be long before you resume that broader uptrend. And actually, yesterday, Bitcoin had a very good stab at it, and it rejected really, really hard. It shot up to sort of 68K, came all the way back down to 63. No, is that right? 65, and is now back up at 67. This is strength, and this is about to break free of this broadening channel. And then we've got a lot of technical targets. We did have that smaller pattern for Bitcoin that takes you to 64K. It's not going to be long before you get there. We also saw the same thing on Total 2, an attempt. We've now broken out of this resistance. We're holding it. You're going to propel off this, guys. And remember, we have that Total 2 or total market cap pattern that sees us double in terms of a market cap. It's here, ladies and gents, and we're looking at lots of altcoins that we think are going to do absolutely spectacularly. We've looked at Ethereum previously and showed you that it's doing the exact same thing that the likes of the SPY did. I think I'll have maybe the ADA chart up here. No, there we go. You can see what it is we're highlighting here. You've just got to hang in there. You've got to be in it to win it. Unfortunately now, and I think, like I say, I think we're going to suffer a similar fate in the UK. They're going to just increase tax on all this stuff and try and make it as hard for you to escape the matrix as possible and keep you, as poor as they possibly can. But Ethereum's just on the same path that the S&P was on. It's got this to come for it, new all-time highs and above and beyond, along with the overall space. And we're on the cusp of embarking on that journey with Bitcoin sort of rearing its head. Bitcoin dominance, very, very strong. Bitcoin dominance at a new all-time high. This will roll eventually. It's obviously just not yet. And our bet has always been that altcoins will eventually outperform Bitcoin. But that's it from me, ladies and gents. I am going to love and leave you on that note. Really not great news whatsoever coming out of Europe today. Interesting news in regards to Tesla. Interesting news in regards to Ethereum trust inflows, what Grayscale are looking to do with their digital asset large cap fund and everything else. And in regards to a price point of view, we're knocking on that ceiling. Eventually, we'll find the hatch and we'll escape into higher prices. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. See you soon.